Well, you are a native son of Edinburg, am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So you have always lived here. I mean, I knew you in high school, but like elementary and such, you've always been here in the Valley in Edinburg.
Yes, born and raised. Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. That is awesome. So can you describe your childhood growing up here then?
I earlier today I was doing menstruations, and someone asked me, "Hey, how were you well off when you were small?" Or I was like, "I'm not well off now, man." I don't know the illusion that people think, but I've been very blessed. I always talk about how my grandma, my mother, and my sister raised me, and I lived on McIntyre Street, which is, we back in the days used to be the east side of Edinburgh. So
Mhm.
I was at Stephen F. Austin Elementary. Social demographics probably in the low end of the totem pole. I mean, and that's fine. It's one of these things where I praise my mother because I always tell her that we grew up financially poor, but I never experienced it. I never felt it. She did a good job of of holding it together, and not necessarily responding to, hey, we don't have money for this, or and food was what it was. Chick-fil-A back then. There was no we from K to 5. It was a very good experience at Stephen F. Austin. Even I had an accident when I was small, and it was the community was very receptive to it. They helped me out a lot. That's what I love about this place. They really didn't shun me for anything, and the fact that I had some scars on my arms and legs. But it's a wonderful experience. I'm not sure if I could relive it all again, but it was growing up was, I would say, it's awesome. I mean, our schedules, getting up and riding your bike, in the summers, riding around town, and it was a much different time back then. And junior high and then high school, and of course I was very fortunate to meet you in junior high. I believe we had sixth-grade campus back then, so
Yeah, I think so.
so it was interesting, and but I had a wonderful childhood. I was very fortunate to have wonderful women in my life, and an uncle. And if I were to complain, it'd be useless, because it was compared to other compared to others in this world, I had a pretty good childhood.
But welcome, welcome, welcome to the show Talk the Talk. And we have the most amazing Mr. Hector Bustos with us today. So I want to thank you so much for coming on and for being supportive of the program. We really look forward to highlighting the successes of people that are in and around the Rio Grande Valley and from the Rio Grande Valley, such as yourself. And so thank you so much for being with us. We really
No,
appreciate it.
thank you for having me. It's truly an honor to be here, and I've known you a long time with school with you, so thank you. Um, it's awesome. You want to highlight people from the 956. I feel like I'm singing a rap song from the 956. But it's true. It's true. We it's important to do that. And it's important to showcase. And I'm not speaking about myself. I'm talking about the amazing talent everywhere around the valley, including with you. Last I talked to you, man, Teacher of the Year. Come on,
Thank
that's no
you.
easy
Thank
feat.
you. No, no. I mean, the thing is being a teacher, being able to be with the young people that are in our area in the 956, right? Because we're being cool like that.
Yeah.
So being
Hey,
able to work.
hopefully the young viewers can understand our nine five
Oh
six.
my gosh, they're gonna be like cringe. What the heck are these people talking about? No. I think that the thing is when you and I were growing up around here, it was always kind of like one of those things like, oh, there's nothing to do here, or oh, it's a small town, there's not as much. And the reality is that I feel, unfortunately, there may be a lot of young people out there that do still feel that way. And I personally feel that you and I were mistaken in, if you did, I shouldn't be speaking for you, but I know for me, I was like, there's not much to do around here. I'm gonna go somewhere. And being a little bit older now and having my kids here, I realized, God, the beauty of our culture and the beauty of our community here. And I was just talking to a group of young artists yesterday, and the reality is that we are a major metropolitan area. We've got over 2.5 million people in the valley itself, and that's just census counted. I mean, think of the other people that were not able to answer the census for whatever reason. We have such a teeming metropolis of talent and wonder that is here, that is the Rio Grande Valley. And it's so important, like you say, to showcase that and to really bring forth awareness of that fact.
You're absolutely correct. And I'm a bit nostalgic now because you're right. I love this place. And I don't know how you were, but I remember I went to undergrad in Indiana, and I took off my hat, and I was like, I'm never coming back.
Yeah.
I'm flying out. I'm leaving.
Me too.
Hey, be gone with this place. And I tell you what, for one thing or another, I ended up back home, and it's been the best decision of my life. I realized how rich a culture we are, how rich of family. I was gone 8 years, and you look back, and you're like, what was I doing? And not so much about being away from school, which is natural, but I think the very fact that you ever hear, I believe it's Gandhi or Confucius says, everything you seek, you have already, and I bring that up because everything I was searching for, it's right here, and like you said, this metropolitan that where else could you go with this many people, and very distinct people. Every city has their own ways, but in some odd way it all works. And it's true, and you talk about talent, the talents you have. I remember you being in fine arts, and I remember that, man. Thinking about being in high school, it's hard to do that, given the way we were brought up, and you did an excellent job, and you excelled at it. And there's a lot of other talent here that we continue to overlook, and I think it's important that we need to bring it out of ourselves, because if we can't believe in ourselves, then excuse me, who the heck's going to believe in us? And I always taught where, my uncle always taught me, and my mom taught me that, you're just as important as everybody else, and you're just as good as everybody else. And I feel like a lot of times we don't do that. We don't tell our kids that. We don't tell them, hey, you need to go to Oxford, University in order to write a book. All right, you don't have to go to these places in order to showcase your talent. I think it's important that you're spearheading this campaign of showing what we have, and you've seen it. Hey, we won state in soccer, right?
Yeah.
So, right, in terms of the Valley, I mean, we're coming up, and I think that it's important to continue to push the cause.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you've been on the expressway lately, but once you're going to head to Harlingen or you're going to head to McAllen, it does seem to take a little longer than usual, and it feels like we were on the verge of losing that small town feel. I feel, and I know that my nephew, who's 20, doesn't really understand when I tell him about the past, and it's unfortunate. But I say, hey, you guys, we're gonna miss that small town feel whenever it's gone.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And I kind of feel like although we're growing, the thing about the Valley is that we're essentially insulated from any other large city, right? You think about it, there's essentially like a cushion. There's like a 3-hour cushion from the next largest city. When we really talk about it, like San Antonio, right? There's a good 3-hour cushion. And so despite the fact that we're growing and that, there's more infrastructure being put up, I still think that we do have the ability to have that small town feel. Maybe not the look, but the feel for sure, because you do have the ability, with all that the Valley has to offer, you have the ability to stay within the area and still be able to attain so many of your hopes and dreams.
Absolutely.
And again, that's, I think that may be something that's overlooked.
Hey, I tell you what, though, we're always gonna have somewhere to get our breakfast tacos at.
Yeah, that's true. That is so
I
true.
will not
So
stand for anything
true.
else than that. If we lose that, I'm out.
Hey, we can't. We can't.
Yeah.
We can't. You are a man of the people. You got to stand for the tacos, man.
Are you a La Paloma restaurant, or where do you get your breakfast?
Oh my gosh. I am, you know what? Let's be really, really, God, raw and real. I'm a Stripes taco girl.
Yeah. Hey, that's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I moved to Los Angeles. I did the whole moving away thing. I moved to Los Angeles and everybody was all about the 7-Eleven and all about like, oh, you can get your slushies and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, you have nothing. We
Yeah.
have legit ladies that are like Mexican ladies that are making tortillas and making the tacos and everything. So don't you talk to me about your slushies. I miss
as
my
you go,
tacos.
as you go too, man. Those are amazing ladies.
For real, for real.
And I'm just a little upset I didn't come up with it before Stripes did. Because right? Hey man, they feed the masses.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, that's a good question. That's a good question. I got a couple of them that are similar to that.
Yeah, okay.
Here in a little bit. So that is awesome. I love the fact that you're able to describe your childhood with such richness and beauty. And so we mentioned that you went to you went to Edinburg North, but you also went to Edinburg High, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Oh, wow. So what were your fondest memories of each campus experience?
And just for if people don't understand why I went to both. After my freshman year, my uncle had a wife who unfortunately had died of cancer, and one of my mom's promises to my uncle was that since he was going to be living by himself, that she would send her son over to live with him. So at the point it sounded awesome. I was like, yeah, mom, I'll do it. But I remember my sophomore year being at Edinburg North, in the class and getting pulled down. They're like, hey, you're gonna be moving to Edinburg High. And I was like, oh, I thought my mom was joking. Yeah, no, and at the end of the day, it was a good decision. I was able to help out my uncle. But more importantly, he was able to help me out. I felt like my mom probably thought that I needed some type of stricter figure in my life at that point in time, and God does things for he knows why, and they really worked out for me. Some of my fondest memories of Edinburg North was just you all. I had really good friends, lots of pretty girls at Edinburg North, so and lots of very cool. I remember very vibrant and very intelligent people in Edinburg North. I think that as far as I remember, Edinburg North had set the bar, in terms of academics, and you all did very well. So it's pat yourself on the back, Ms. Jennifer, because you guys did very well. But just in all, very, very, very humble people, very nice people. I think lunch was fun. For whatever reason, playing sports was fun. But it was just a good all around fun at Edinburg North, and keep in mind, I've gone to school since sixth grade to sophomore year with the people and just everybody, man. I can name the girls left and right with, and then the gentlemen. It was just to me, it was very comforting and a very comfort zone that I had there. And that's why I was a little taken aback when I got moved because I don't know how you are, but I've tried to work on this aspect of my life, but change is tough. You get very accustomed to your ways and very used to people around you, and anytime someone shakes that up, it really scares me. But like anything else, it was for the better, and I think that it was an eye-opening experience for me, and it taught me, but it prepared me for the future.
That's awesome. Yeah. And how was your experience at Edinburg High? You played football under Robert Vela, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Wow. How was that?
That was, one thing I will say about Edinburg High. Edinburg High was one of these schools where you got to be there to understand. A lot of very, very, very super intense. Took the sports very serious. especially Football Friday. That's one thing I realized in Burkai was that it was concentrate on football all day, and especially with a coach figure like Coach Vela. Mr. Vela was sort of a larger than life. He walked, as I say, he walked with a big stick, and he really had a really good grasp of the concept of team unity and making sure that the community was part of the football team. It's sort of each one depended on each other, and I got to really look up to him and became very fond of him and the coaching staff. And there was another set of men who sort of helped me out in my upbringing, at least in my 15 through 18. And Edinburg was a very good experience. Same thing, very intelligent people, very vibrant people, and the teachers are cool. Anything else? It's like North counselors are nice, and but we had two different walks of life. There was a lot of different aspects that we can go on and on, but it was for the most part it was all Edinburg. Both schools were excellent. Both schools had good coaches, and Coach Bell was just a little. I was there the majority of my high school career, so he was able to show me what it felt like at the point. And now that I realize I didn't. Sometimes we don't appreciate things as much as we do when we have these figures in our life that, he meant what he said, and he was able to, what I take from him, he was very good at being a CEO, very good at managing emotions, very good at putting people in certain places to succeed. And I think that's one thing we can learn as a group of people or just in our own everyday life. Sometimes you need to delegate, sometimes you need to intervene, and sometimes you just need to stay out of it, right? Which is very difficult.
Yeah. That's a skill. That's a skill in and of itself, is knowing the difference of what is appropriate and what is not appropriate in terms of, like you said, intervening, not intervening, allowing somebody else to take the lead. That's hard. Were you always interested in the law?
I think I may have, being young, we have, I think just about me and every other Mexican American talk about, we argue a lot. So maybe, our grandmas, you should be a lawyer. Well, my lovely grandma, man, I miss her. She had put that on me, but honestly, I think that when I was going, I liked the law, but when I was in undergrad, one day I was walking back to, I was a Phi Delta, and I was coming in. So I walk in my freshman year, and I see a bunch of people in the library, and there's like 16 people in there, and they're all preparing for their LSAT, and keep in mind, let's get some background. I'm first generation college, so college, at least to me and my mother, man, I'm in college. It's big for us, and
it is.
It is at first. So I'm walking in. I'm like, hey, I talked to my buddy Adam, and I'm like, hey, man, what are you guys doing? He's like, oh, we're doing pre-LSATs. We're working on our LSATs. And then I hear my other buddy. He's like, yeah, man, you're gonna go to law school. And I was like, oh, law school. In my head, I'm like, Jesus, I'm trying to graduate from college.
You're like, I already signed up for 4 extra years. What?
Yeah,
3 more?
School. But I'll get back to that mentality right now. And my buddy's like, yeah, my dad went to Vanderbilt. Another guy had gone to Auburn. And that was the good thing for me getting out of here. I was around a lot of people that had gone that extra step or had been shown that. I love my mother, but my mother didn't go to grad school. She didn't. So, and she did the best she could do given her circumstances. So, that sort of piqued my ears, my interest. And I was like, well, what are these guys talking about? So I threw myself in there, why not, right? What else? At that point in time, 19, kid from Edinburg, what else do I have to lose, right? Like, at the time. So jump in there and sort of honed in on my early childhood liking to the law. And at that point, I had talked to their parents, and they're like, well, a law degree is something good to have. You don't have to practice law, And I didn't know that. I thought that there's a lot of people in Washington, a lot of people in politics. All over the place, man. And so that sort of kind of got my engine going. and but it was a lot of my grandma, a lot of my family members, but it was surrounding myself or merging myself with people who thought more and thought that, hey, you know, you shouldn't stop here. That kind of got me going.
That's amazing. That's so important. And you know, it's you being a first generation, like you're a trailblazer. And to not only just go to college, but then to also go into grad school and to get your JD, like that's huge. That's amazing. And just taking that first step of going to college, just bottom line, that's a big thing. That's a scary thing. And to go to college outside of the area in which you were born and raised, again, like so many steps, that takes a lot of bravery, Hector. That's really
Thank you.
awesome.
You know, Jennifer, and sort of going back to you said earlier, we live in this sort of, we're insulated from people, and you're right on. Like once you leave this beautiful 956 area that we call our home, you certainly feel like a minority. You know, I know that you and I spoke about this a long time ago. I mean, you went to Florida. I imagine, you know, you went to a big state school. And you know, you're not around here. We're around predominantly Mexican Americans. Yep. And once you're out of this, you know, these are quotes from our days, you know, you're not in Kansas anymore. You know, yeah, and it's you're right, it's scary, but you and this goes out to anyone that's hearing us. Surround yourself by positive people. Surround yourself with people that can help you with your cause and push you to get better. You know, there's enough naysayers out there. There's enough people wishing to fail. Don't add to it. You know, and that's one thing I wish I would have known. I would have taken more serious then, because doubt's a remaining factor of our lives. You know, you're going to have doubt in every aspect of your life, but it's not the crippling doubt. You know, it's just a doubt that, hey, can I do this or not? And you being a wonderful Mexican American man, a Latina, as they say, we can do anything. You just got to work it.
Yeah, you got to be willing to work. That's for sure.
That's
tell my students that all the time.
All right, pull your boots up. Hey, and get after it.
And that's, I mean, again, that's another testament to the beauty of the culture of the Valley.